Battle of Mărășești. The Battle of Mărășești, 6 August 1917 – 3 September 1917, was the last major battle between the German Empire and the Kingdom of Romania on the Romanian front during World War I. Romania was mostly occupied by the Central Powers, but the Battle of Mărășești kept the northern region of the country free from occupation. Background: on 22 July 1917, the Romanians launched a joint offensive with Russia against the Austro-Hungarian First Army around Mărășești and the lower part of the Siret River, which resulted in the Battle of Mărășești. Although there was some initial success, a counter-offensive by the Central Powers in Galicia stopped the Romanian-Russian offensive. Battle: the Central Powers planned a dual pincer movement attack, an offensive towards Ajud and an offensive towards Oitas. The Battle of Mărășești was fought between 6 August and 3 September, in an area marked by the towns of Fățani, Pansiu and Mărășești along the Siret River. West of the Siret, the German Ninth Army had 12 divisions with 102 infantry battalions, 10 cavalry squadrons and 213 artillery batteries, 31 heavy. Facing the Germans was the Russian Fourth Army. Its defenses were still under construction, discontinuous, and lacked depth. The Russian troops were being replaced by the Romanian First Army under General Constantin Cristescu. The Romanian First Army had 78 infantry battalions, 58 cavalry squadrons, 114 gun and light howitzer batteries, 36 heavy batteries, 10 trench mortars, 5 air squadrons, and 7 anti-aircraft guns. To these the Russian Fourth Army added 84 infantry battalions, 32 cavalry squadrons, and 79 artillery batteries, 9 heavy. The German offensive began on the night of 5–6 August with a violent 8 hours-long artillery bombardment. Striking between the Siret and the Fățani-Mărășești Railroad, the Germans 310 km 1.8 minutes 6.2 miles northwards against the left flank of the Russian Fourth Army. Although they left behind their artillery, the Russians managed to destroy the bridges over the river. The intervention of the 5th Romanian Division in this threatened sector stabilized the situation, shelling the left flank of the Germans as they attempted to cross the river along with the Russians. The following day, however, the Romanians lost the village of Doga. During a subsequent Romanian-Russian counterattack against 4 German divisions, the Russians managed to advance 3 km 1.8 miles, and the Romanians won 2 km 0.6 minutes 1.2 miles. However, the Russians were driven back during the following night, driving a 4–5 km 2.5 minutes 3.1 miles wedge between the Romanian 9th Division and the Russian 71st Division, whose combat power was collapsing as whole units abandoned their positions. The commander of the Russian Fourth Army decided to delay the counterattack, allowing the Germans to advance towards Mărășești and threaten the rear of the Romanian 9th Division. Communication between the two allied armies was restored by the infantry and artillery of the Romanian 13th Division. By the end of the day, the German counterattack forced the Romanians and Russians to abandon their recently made gains. This allied counteroffensive between 10 and 11 August did not yield notable results, apart from the casualties inflicted upon the Central Powers, although at the cost of heavy Russian and Romanian casualties. On 12–13 August, 2 more Romanian divisions were committed to battle. The Romanian resistance forced the German Ninth Army to shift the focus of its offensive to the junction between the Russian Fourth and Romanian First Armies, hoping to coordinate its attack with the one delivered by the Jurac group at Oitas. On the morning of 14 August, after a powerful artillery bombardment with high explosive and gas shells, the Germans attacked the Russian troops at Pansiu and pushed them back, threatening the left flank of the Romanian Second Army at Oitas. The attempt to seize Mărășești, at the left flank of the Romanian First Army commanded by General Iremia Grigorescu since 12 August, failed. On the next day, German troops advancing southeast of Pansiu were halted by units of the Romanian First Army, supported by accurate Romanian-Russian artillery fire. German prisoners reported extremely heavy casualties, stating that they had not come across such stiff resistance since the battles of the Somme and Verdun. On 16 August, Romanian troops checked a German advance north of Pansiu. Between 17 and 18 August, besides some local skirmishes, the forces in the field mainly regrouped. The Romanian First Army deployed 53 Romanian and 21 Russian light batteries and 19 heavy batteries. On 19 August, the Battle of Mărășești reached its peak, the German attack being simultaneous with the attack from Oitis, obviously attempting to encircle the Romanian and Russian forces. The formidable artillery bombardment began at daybreak, with gas shells fired mainly against the Romanian divisions. The Central Powers attacked with 4 German and 1 Austro-Hungarian divisions against the Romanian 9th. The main blow was directed 3 km 1.8 miles east of Mărășești, and the Germans advanced 2 km 1.2 miles in the middle of the Romanian position towards the Sirt Valley, only to be pushed back with heavy losses by a converging counterattack. Guided by aircraft and balloons observation, the Romanian artillery inflicted heavy losses in combat and material. The Germans launched a powerful attack on Mărășești, but only reached the railway station on the outskirts of the town. On 22 August, the Central Powers ceased their offensive organized for defense and settled into trench warfare. On 23 August, the Germans started bringing up more artillery. On 28 August, Mackensen launched another attack, causing the Russians to leave the battlefield in large numbers after showing little resistance. The Romanians were able to reinforce their lines before Mackensen could exploit the Russian collapse, completely stopping his advance. This was the most important battle ever fought by the Romanian army, as it managed to completely stop Mackensen's intended invasion of Moldavia. Mackensen halted the attack on 3 September in order to transfer troops to the Italian front. The Germans had pushed forward 6-7 km 3.7 4.3 miles along a front of 30 km 18.6 miles, but at great cost and without achieving any major objective. German casualties killed, wounded, and missing amounted to around 60,000 men, while Romanian casualties amounted to 27,000. Aftermath. In March 1918, Russia signed the Treaty of Brest-Litovsk after Austrian-German forces had captured huge territories in the Baltics, Belarus, and Ukraine in February. This left Romania surrounded by the Central Powers, forcing them to sign the Treaty of Bucharest. Gallery.